I think it was Mushroom Head had just played The Gathering that year, and
Okay.
I'm like, oh, they're having like metal bands play The
Yeah.
Gathering. I'm like,
Yeah.
I want to.
So we were just kind of talking a little bit off of mic about this a little bit here, but so the freaking hot wings or whatever, or what's that called? Hot shots? No.
Oh God,
It's just like I said,
hot
hot
ones,
wings
hot
and
ones. I don't know why
hot
I brain
ones. There we
farted that.
go.
Hot
My
ones.
gosh. So hot ones released a new one with s- uh, I almost said Slipknot. Oh my
ICP
gosh,
and Guar.
ICP and Guar. And freaking dude,
It's hilarious.
so entertaining.
It's
Like
hilarious.
I wonder if those guys have toured before or something like that because they have a great chemistry together.
I think they've been
And
on shows.
yeah, I
I
could
don't know if
see
they've
it.
toured, but
It,
yeah,
it made sense, you know.
yeah, yeah.
But what an entertaining episode, man. Those guys are freaking hilarious. But I was kind of saying like ICP, I don't think I've ever seen a bad interview with ICP. Even when
No,
they're like interviewing, I think they're on like Dateline like years ago, like 99, you know,
yeah. I
and
think I
they were
remember
on
that one.
there and they were basically sticking up for themselves, you know, and it's like and it was still extremely entertaining and stuff.
Yeah,
And but yeah, you were saying that so Violent
I,
J
re-
is gonna be a dad?
I think he's gonna. Yeah, I think I saw something where he held up a sonogram and gonna be a daddy. But I do remember, to go back to the whole interview thing. I saw a reel with Shaggy not that long ago where he was talking about their interviews, especially way back when, and he's like, we treated them all as wrestling promos.
Yeah,
And I'm like, that is
that is
genius. That is
genius.
genius. And he's like, yeah, everything was over the top, and we were bouncing around because yeah, treated them like wrestling promos. I'm like, man,
Makes
that's
sense.
genius level
Yeah, makes
stuff.
sense. I mean,
It totally does. Like if you go back and you watch some of those, I mean, it was always like dreadlocks flying around, and it was just a
oh gosh, yeah.
blur, of
Yeah,
clown makeup and dreadlocks in these interviews, and they were hilarious,
yeah.
absolutely hilarious. And that was what got you to watch them.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, that's the thing. I mean,
You know.
there's well, I mean, it makes a lot of sense if you think about it now. Like my brain's just going like on fire now, like thinking about that. Like obviously they've
Yeah.
been huge wrestling fans their whole life and everything.
Yeah.
And like what a cool thing of like creating a persona of a character and then like just, like The Undertaker, for example, like and
Hmm.
having like what was that guy's name? Oh God.
Pallbearer,
Paul
his
Bearer and
manager.
stuff. There you go. And just like having this whole shtick
Such a
and
dumb name.
it was such a it was like ooh, he's like
There
walking
were
around the
there were some
urn.
dumb names in
Yes.
90s WWF, but that one was just beyond stupid. I
That one
understand
was
they were trying to be clever, but that one was just dumb.
yeah. Yeah, exactly. But no, look, good for ICP to like freaking, have like this wrestling thought of like put it into music and
Hmm.
stuff. And they're talented.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously it worked or whatever, um, but yeah, it's just freaking funny though, dude. Anyway, sorry. But no, so yeah, you're telling me and I didn't realize so he's Violent J is gonna
He's
be a dad.
he's
So
doing a lot more social media these days. And
yeah,
I guess just to tie this into new metal real quick.
sure.
Remember that time where Shaggy dropkicked Fred Durst?
Yes.
Ran up behind him
Yes.
and drop kicked him. In
Yeah.
this same
Well, almost
interview,
drop kicked them.
yeah, in the same interview,
Yeah.
he was saying that he was trying to get all like pro wrestling with it, and he was just
Yeah.
goofing around, and like they
Yeah.
took it seriously, like he was attacking him.
Right.
Anyways, um, okay,
Yeah,
new metal part
because
check.
that's he's said that before. I've heard that on other interviews and
W.
stuff. He was
I
like,
hadn't
no,
heard
he
that.
goes, yeah, because because what does he call it? It's like something like doing the bit or something like that, where he was like, he goes, I was drunk
Yeah,
AF,
yeah,
but I knew what I was doing. He was like, if I really wanted to drop Fred Durst, he's like, I would have fired him into
it
the
would have hurt
crowd,
him.
It's like I
Yeah,
know how to drop kick a dude. He's like, and I didn't even
yeah.
barely touch him. He's like, that's what you do in pro wrestling is like if to be good at it, you want to sell it, but you don't actually
Yeah.
want to hurt somebody. And that's the thing.
Mhm.
If you've ever watched the video when he drop kicks him, he barely touches him.
It looks like
And
he whiffs him. Yeah,
yeah,
like
he
he
kind
doesn't
of
even
whips him.
connect.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
but then he like lands flat on his back, and it's like, holy crap. But then like everybody like bum rushed him and like took him off the stage and everything. And the whole story, have you heard the whole story of like how he got He
I
like
don't think so.
he basically he was with his buddies off stage, and I'm gonna mess this up a little bit because I don't remember exactly what it was, but he bet his buddies something, and he was like, yeah, if we do this or something happens like this tonight or something like that, he's like, I'll go freaking drop kick Fred Durst. And then whatever it was, it actually happened. He was like, oh crap. He's like, I actually have to drop kick Fred Durst. And then so he's like, so he just starts drinking real heavy and everything. And he's like,
Yeah.
okay, I got to go up there. I got to be a man of my word. I got to go up there. And they're all like, go do it, go do it. So he's like, I just freaking go up on stage. And he's like, and I just went up there and just boom, you know. And he was like, but I was telling him, like, I'm going to really drop kick him, you know. Like, but in my mind, he's like, I'm not going to jail over this, you know.
Yeah.
So he goes, I just did, you know, just kind of whiffed him or whatever, you know, and stuff. Obviously, it's been this lore that's followed him around ever since then
Mm.
and stuff, which is kind of cool. But either way, it's kind of funny though. But yeah, God, could
Yeah.
you imagine if he really, really kicked this?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah. Because he was like right at the front of the stage too. Like
right at the front of the
he
stage,
would have
man.
got
He would
hurt.
have booted him. Oh man, that would have been bad.
Yeah. He
But
would have got real hurt.
no, but yeah, so there's the tie-in to new metal. But
Yeah.
no, what I was gonna say is yeah, so Violent J, and again, I don't mean any disrespect to anybody
Mm.
when I was like bringing this up or whatever, but his girlfriend or wife, maybe they're married, I don't know, but like his
I think they
girlfriend's
might
name,
be engaged.
they could be, and
I don't
again,
know.
and they seem
He
very
referred to
happy.
her as his wife
Yeah,
in the
okay.
the Hot Ones
So
video.
maybe they are, and that's cool, you know. But
Possible.
her name's Sarah Russi or Rusi, I think.
Yeah.
And I knew of her before they got together, and I'm going to share with you. I'm going to share my screen here in just a second, but um I was like absolutely blown away when I found out that her and Violent J were together, because I'm like, dude, this chick's just a freaking just a gold digger, you know. And you know, like again, I don't mean any
Psychopathic pay that well?
disrespect. What's that?
Psychopathic earning that much?
Well, I kind of do, bro. I'm telling you.
I know for a fact they do.
Yeah. So, but anyways, so like this was her ex right here, and this is a
Oh
guy.
dear.
He's an old child star named Mason Reese, and I remember they did like a reality show or something like that, and it was like nobody understands us and stuff. And
That's
I'm
her?
sure, yeah, that's her, and I'm sure he's a
Oh yeah,
nice
because there's
guy.
him, there's the two of them. Yeah.
Yeah, and then here's Violent J and her, you know. And so again, I'm sure that this guy is a really nice guy and all. I mean, he wears a lot of turquoise, so that says something. But
It's a choice. That's a
that's a
choice.
choice. But again, it just didn't ever seem like, I saw a whole bunch of video or interviews of these guys together and everything. It never seemed genuine and stuff. And he obviously was head over heels over her, you know.
Well, sure.
Yeah,
There's a little
but
bit of a, I don't know
yeah,
what they call it, like a um
yeah, because
imbalance there.
yeah, a little
You,
bit of
you
an
know what I mean? It just
imbalance.
doesn't
Yeah.
look like it should work.
It doesn't. And, I mean, I think he's like 60 years old or something like that. And,
And she's
whatever.
clearly in her 20s.
Yeah, exactly. But, and then I don't know if they had broken up or something like that or whatever, but like her and
Hair's
Violent
still
J.
pink.
Yep, exactly. But her and
Do
Violent
I
J
have
started.
daddy issues? Looks like it.
Yeah, looks a little bit like it,
I
but
I didn't know that he was that tattooed on his face.
oh yeah, dude.
Because it's like I've only seen a handful of pictures of him without his clown makeup on, but I did not know that he was
Yeah.
that tattooed in the facial region.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah,
hey,
it's
do you? I don't care,
it's
but it was.
yeah,
It's
it's
what I've
different.
noticed recently too, that white and black makeup, like face paint,
Mhm.
like it really does conceal. Like, see, doesn't look
Oh,
like
it
him at
does.
all.
Yeah.
It's like I started to notice that with him, and then some of the ladies from Dogma, and I'm
Right.
like, man, that doesn't even look like
Yeah.
corpse paint. When people wear corpse paint, it's like, man, you're concealing your identity very well. Anyways,
Yeah.
oh,
No,
there she
you're
is in clown makeup.
yeah. Well, that's kind of their shtick, you know.
And that's her life moving forward.
Yeah. But hey, kudos
To
to
each
them,
their own.
man.
To each
Yep,
their own. Good
exactly.
for
And
you
I
guys. I hope
I
you're
hope
happy.
they're super happy, and
But that is awkward.
it is. I mean, that's what I was kind of saying. I was like, man, if I was dating somebody and then she, it's like, oh, who's your ex, But however, I will say I will say, you never want to say who is your ex, and then they pull up like a Brad Pitt or something like that, and you're like, oh crap, you
Yeah,
know.
that could backfire real
Yeah,
quick.
you make you feel real bad real quick, you know. It's like, well, like, oh man, I'm never gonna be a
Yeah,
Brad Pitt, you know. But so I
yeah,
guess you're like, well, she's leveling up with me, so you know. But
yeah.
I don't
Well,
know.
that, yeah, definitely with Jay for sure.
Yeah,
But yeah, I can see there possibly being a problem there,
yeah, and I hope
you
there's not.
know.
I hope there's not,
Me too.
and
Me
you know,
too.
they're gonna have a kid together, and I hope that
And I
they're
knew
super
that
happy.
Jay was having some health problems.
Yep,
In fact, I
yep.
believe if memory serves, ICP might not be touring as ICP for much longer because of the health issues.
Yeah, I think that
But
was. I think you're right. I think the last interview I
yeah.
heard them, they said that they're going to stop touring. They'll probably only play local, and
Hmm.
they'll
They'll
do
do the
like they'll
gathering
do the
and, you know,
gathering, and then I think he said that they'll do like one or two shows a year or something like that. But yeah,
yeah.
I mean they're getting old, and then you know obviously he was
Mm.
not very good to his body, you know, all these
No,
years,
no, no, no.
and it's kind of shocking on just like how well he's still doing compared to
Yeah.
what
Well, he's
he's done
lost
to
a
it.
lot of weight
He
too
did lose a lot of weight.
recently.
Yep. Which is good.
So
I'm really happy for him there
yeah,
because he got freaking big,
he
dude.
was big. He was a
He
large
was,
man.
gosh, man. Yeah, I
Yeah.
saw them. I've seen ICP twice.
Hmm.
And the first time, I mean, he looked, you know, kind of same size of what he is now or whatever. Not, you know, a little heavy set, but nothing bad or
Hmm.
whatever.
Right. Yeah.
And pretty normal Violent J. And then like I saw them in Des Moines and they were playing with Mushroom Head. And so I drove all the way because I hadn't seen Mushroom Head yet. So I drove all the way to Des Moines to see Mushroom Head. And I was like,
Mm.
also, hey, cool, Violent, you know, ICP is gonna be there too.
Yeah.
And so I pull up and like on the door it says Mushroom Head's not gonna be here tonight. I'm like, damn it. It's
Yeah.
like, but I mean, I was like, well, at least I get to see, you know, ICP
Yeah.
again, you know,
Drove all
because
this
it's
way. Might as well see
yeah,
something.
exactly. And it was them and Mac 10. Do you remember Mac 10 from West Side Connection? Do you remember
Mm-mm.
West Side
Mm,
Connection back in the day?
I
So West
don't.
Side Connection was like it was like a almost like a super group. It was like Ice Cube, Mac 10. I'm trying to remember who else was on it. And dude,
Hmm.
I tell you what, you want to listen to a good 90s rap album, you look up West Side Connection and it is a banger. It is so good. I love
Huh.
it. But
I'm gonna
anyway,
have to.
so seeing Mac 10 there, I was like, oh, cool. You know, that'll be all right. So I got
Mm.
to see Mac 10 and ICP, and it was cool. But I still to this day haven't seen Mushroom Head live, you know, so I was kind of a bummer. But yeah, anyways, back to what I was saying though, Violent J was large at that
Hmm.
point, and I was like, holy smoke, he looked like freaking Violet J, you know,
Yeah.
Violet from freaking Willy Wonka, like got rolled out, you know. I was like, holy crap, bro. But I was like,
Yeah.
he was still doing it live on stage. I was like, man, we're about to
Mm.
see a dude have a heart attack, you know.
Yeah.
Um, but good for him though, man. I am very happy for him if he's, you
Yeah.
know, gonna be a dad and stuff. But he's got to be up there though, right?
I mean,
55 probably.
I think they're, yeah, early mid 50s.
Oh man. Okay,
Yeah.
now I
I mean,
gotta.
they would have to be. I mean, how many records were there before Riddlebox?
Gosh,
Two,
yeah,
two
something
or
like that.
three. So it's like now you're talking late 80s putting out records. So I
Yeah,
mean, yeah, they're mid to late 50s probably.
53,
So okay.
53. So
How old's
yeah, I
Shaggy?
mean that's still
He's got to be close.
yeah. He's Shaggy's got to be a little bit
Yeah. He was always my favorite though. Nothing
Shaggy.
against Violent J, but Shaggy was always my favorite of the two. He kept his dreadlocks longer.
I love that
I
you're
don't know why
always
that
like,
was a gauge there, but it was because I remember being like bummed out when they got rid of the dreadlocks,
yeah,
you know, because like even in their music videos, like it would like they would do like the pro wrestling thing, you know, but it was, you know, how most pro wrestlers had long hair back then,
yeah,
you know, because it was more animated and you could
sure,
sell it better.
totally,
It's like that's
yeah,
what the dreads did for them. I remember there was a video for one of the songs off Malenko, but they were in like a shoe store, like a women's
yeah. I was
shoe
gonna say
store.
it was like a Foot Locker. Yep,
Yeah,
yep, yep,
yeah.
yep.
And like they started like wrestling and stuff. I'm like, okay,
Yeah,
yeah. Like
I can
then they
get
cut
behind
him
this.
off, and I'm like, oh,
Yeah,
bummer.
yeah. That was the thing. I didn't. I'd listened to a lot of their stuff before while they had the dreadlocks, but I'd never watched
Hmm.
any music videos or anything of them
Yeah,
yet. I didn't actually start like kind of really getting into them until after they'd cut the hair and stuff. But
yeah,
yeah,
yeah. It's wild. So here's a fun story. Actually, I have two, since we're talking about ICP. Um, I I remember this was probably about 10 years ago,
Okay.
and um, I think it was Mushroom Head had just played The Gathering that year, and
Okay.
I'm like, oh, they're having like metal bands play The
Yeah.
Gathering. I'm like,
Yeah.
I want to, you know.
Oh, nice.
So I went to the website and I found, I don't remember if it was a booking agent or just a general info kind of thing. And I happened to be at work at the time. And I was talking to this woman I was working with, and she was, into ICP and all that. And I'm like, and we were just talking randomly one day. I'm like, how cool would it be if I got to play The Gathering? And she's like, do it. I'm
Yeah.
like, so I go to the website and I find this contact. I'm like, should I email him? And she's like, absolutely. So
Nice.
I email him like, hey, I'm in this band, blah blah blah. Or no, I think it was a tell us who you'd like to see at the gathering.
Oh,
So I'm like, there
me.
it is. Okay. So I'm like, hey, how about this guy? Here's the band, here's links and yada yada yada. I kid you not, within 24 hours, I had a response.
Oh, wow.
And they were like, okay, like they clearly didn't go to any of the links. They're like, okay, what's the sound? This, that, and the other thing. Like, are you selling anything? Are you on tour? Like, and I'm like, man, that was fast.
Yeah.
And I remember I I messaged the rest of the band and they're like, we're not doing that show. And I'm like,
Oh,
all right,
man.
whatever. So I dropped it. But like just the sheer speed in which they got back to me, I'm
Yeah.
like, they know what they're doing. They're like on top of this. Like this
Totally.
isn't, um, kind of a screw on thing.
Sure.
But to kind of dovetail that, um, my old neighbor, um, he's a rapper. He goes by Petro. Shout
Yeah.
out Petro.
Yep.
And did I ever tell you this? That because you know him, don't
Yeah.
you?
Yep. Yep.
Yeah.
He's the guy with the
He,
green Mustang, right?
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. You met him at the car show.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
And we were talking about it one night. He's like, "Oh, I've done the gathering." I'm like,
Oh, man.
"What?" I'm like, "Seriously?" He's like, "Yeah, it's all over YouTube." And sure enough,
Nice.
and I was like, "Dude, like." That's rad, man.
That
Like,
is rad.
he's
Yeah.
like, he's like, dude, it was like one of the weirdest experiences of my
Yeah, I can
life. I'm like,
imagine.
I can imagine, man. And he was, telling me stories about, the gathering and just how odd it is. And,
Sure.
the culture there is really different,
Yes.
and then I just became infatuated with it.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, what are these people doing that's just so out there? And are you aware what a poop dollar is?
No.
Okay, so this is a real thing. Um, People will wipe their ass with a dollar bill
Oh
of
my
whatever
gosh.
denomination, and they'll kind of fold it up and throw it on the ground. So when somebody's like, "Oh, there's a $20 bill," you pick it up, you unfold it, and you got poop all over your hands.
Oh my
And
gosh,
people think
dude.
that's hilarious, and I'm like, the 14-year-old in me wants to laugh at that,
Yeah,
but like the adult me is like, dude, that is foul,
that is
you
messed
know.
up. Yeah.
Um, And so like the lesson was like, don't ever pick anything up off the ground.
No
Gathering
kidding.
of the Juggalos. And I'm like, oh my God, okay. That's a real thing. Okay.
That's
Interesting.
crazy.
Do I really want to play the show?
Right. I think it'd be
You know,
cool to say that you played it.
I think it would be too.
But again, I think, have you watched that documentary called like The United States of Insanity? It's about ICP.
And the FBI thing?
Yeah, and the FBI thing. Yeah.
I don't think so.
You should watch it. It's actually pretty
What's it called?
good. The United States of Insanity. And I think it's on Prime, I think is where I watched it. And it's really good.
Okay.
It's done
I'll
really
watch it
well and
tonight.
everything. But yeah, it kind of gives like a whole big backstory about ICP and how they got to where they were and everything. And then
Mm-hmm.
obviously, the FBI gets involved, calls them a gang and all this other stuff, blah, blah,
Mm-hmm.
blah. The story. But yeah, they have a lot of behind the scenes footage of the Juggalos with the gathering and all that other stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, it's again, it kind of shows they did a good job of like showing like how it's all about family and this and that and everything, and that's cool. But it also shows like what makes the Juggalos, known for being
Right.
juggalos.
Right.
Let's say where it's like everybody's included here and stuff, and then you see people who should probably be a little bit more clothed than what they are, and
Well, there's that. Yeah.
yeah, yeah, but
But I think and this brings up a really good, point because both of us are clearly fans,
Yeah,
of ICP and, the connection to new metal,
yeah,
I think needs to be acknowledged a
sure.
little bit because, we've talked about it here and there. We've scratched the surface a little bit, but I think, they were always around.
Yeah,
They were always around. And I said something when we were talking with Surreal, like, ICP was like, and I probably shouldn't have phrased it this way, but I think I'm like, they were the only ones it was okay, like the only hip hop group it was okay
sure.
to like as a new
Yeah,
metal guy. And that's not really what I meant. I just meant that they got the kind of the stamp of approval,
right.
from the new metal community because they were touring with a lot of those bands.
Yeah, and
So there
it blended
was this
well.
association
Yeah.
there,
I mean,
you
clearly.
know, and it became, and as we have kind of been talking about the gathering, like there was a lot of cultural similarities there too, not the poop dollar thing, but I think there was a lot of similarities in fashion. Obviously the
Yeah,
music, there was the hip hop element in ICP, they did bring in guitars and all that.
right.
So I think that there's kind of a loose affiliation there, maybe at least on Malenko
Sure.
and Riddlebox.
Yeah,
Um, and so I think that there was a lot of parallels there. You saw a lot of the Janko thing, the fishnets, the chains,
right.
chain wallets, or just on shirts and whatever, piercings. Like that was, I mean, I'll give Jonathan Davis credit. I'd never seen an eyebrow piercing until the blind video,
Sure.
you know, and it's like that's kind of juggalo culture too. So I think that there's a lot of parallels, between the two.
Right. No, I think there is, man. I really do. And that's the thing. It's like, I think of the friends that I mean, I'm still friends with them, but like, that was friends with back then, when here I'm in my heavy metal band and, we're all heavy metal influenced and this and that and everything, all of our friends and everything. But again, we were all fans of ICP, again, I
Hmm.
would never, not to say anything bad about juggalos or anything like that. I wasn't to that extent though,
Right.
and
Yeah.
I went and saw ICP twice. I never painted my face or anything like that. But again, I mean, I get it. I get it. It's like a
Hmm.
freaking vibe beyond vibes, when you're at those shows
Yeah.
and stuff like that. And it
Yeah.
does, it feels very inclusive and everything. But I will say, like, I probably could have got pulled further into the Juggalo community or whatever if it wasn't for the first show. Because, well, first off, two things happened. One was very interesting, and I thought it was hilarious or whatever. But like, they were at the time when they came to the Ranch Bowl, they were beefing hard with Eminem at the time.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, and somebody in the crowd was sitting there throwing M&Ms up on stage, and it was before they came out, so like it was like their crew was up there putting stuff on stage and whatever,
Mhm.
and somebody in the crowd was throwing M&Ms and stuff, and like one of their, I think it was their security guard, like jumped off the stage and like took off after this dude, like ran through the crowd, ran outside, and like ended up tackling him in the volleyball pits or whatever
Oh
outside,
God,
just
yeah,
like beat the
yeah, yeah,
hell out
yeah.
of him or something like that.
I mean,
But yeah, so that
kind of
was kind of
asked for
cool.
that
Yeah,
one.
yeah, sure did. And so, but either way, but that didn't like turn me off or anything. But what really did was the show was awesome. I was like, dude, I was not expecting to have this much fun. And but when we are going to leave, if you remember, speaking of volleyball courts, when you would go to leave, they'd on a bigger shows, they have the back doors at the ranch bowl that would
Mm,
open up.
yeah.
And then you kind of walk by the volleyball courts and everything to the parking lot.
Mhm.
And so it was just so packed in there, and we're trying to get out, and it was taking forever. And so everybody's just shoulder to shoulder, like, let's get the hell out of here. The
Yeah.
show's over. Let's go. And so people are kind of pushing and pulling a little bit and stuff. And it's like one thing about the majority, I don't want to say majority. That's going to sound bad. One thing about a lot of the personification of what a juggalo is that they're kind of like people who don't make the best decisions in life or something like that, and they all think that they're freaking thugs, and and that's what I ran into. There was some freaking dude. He was like maybe 5'6", skinny little dude, no
That was
shirt
me.
on.
I'm just kidding.
it was you. No. And not saying that that's short, Dan. I'm just saying but
It
anyways,
is.
but he just was like, his face was all painted up and he's all sweaty and everything. And
Mhm.
like he had like his girlfriend with him and she was like taller than him and everything. But anyways, everybody was just tired of being like sardined in. And then all of a sudden he just starts popping off and he's like, if motherfuckers don't stop stepping, I'm gonna start going off. And he starts like talking all tough
Oh
and everything. He's like,
God.
I'll fucking start, just saying all this stupid crap. And like all these people are like, dude, we will kill you. Like, what are you talking about? And it's just like he was just like acting like he's so tough and everything. He's like sticking his arms out and everything. And it's like, dude, you maybe were 120 pounds. It's like you're gonna get ragdolled in this group. But he was just being such an idiot and stuff. And it's just like I was like, yeah, I don't want to be a part of that. And then so when I did
Yeah.
see him again in Des Moines trying to get into the thing, there was still a couple guys outside that were same thing, just these little wiry little dudes who were acting like they're
Hmm.
super tough and everything. And I was
Yeah.
just like, yeah, this is gross. I don't want to be a part of this
Yeah.
community. But again,
Hiding
to each
behind the
their own,
clown makeup.
but
Yeah.
whatever. Yeah, exactly. Hiding behind cloud makeup. Exactly. It's like I'm around all my people, all my
Hmm.
hormones are firing, I'm feeling
Yeah.
good about myself. Everybody's got my
Yeah.
back. Much love.
Everybody
Whoop,
knows I'm a
whoop.
juggalo. Yeah.
Exactly. So it
Yeah.
just that part of it, I just was like, nah, that's kind of dumb. But
Yeah. And listen, I get it. I get kind of the culture, music can create.
yeah,
ICP, I don't want to say they took it to another level. It took itself to another
oh
level.
yeah,
But when you have kind of a gimmick like that, and which I've said, a million times before, I love gimmicks. Like
oh yeah,
you know, when it comes to music, so I certainly get it, but like the culture that it created was rare. Like that doesn't
yeah,
happen often,
yeah,
when it influences fashion and all of these kinds of things, attitude, and it's a rare thing, and it's volatile.
yeah,
It just
yep.
is. And I'm trying to think of somebody else who did it to that extent, and I can't. You know,
There's
it's like,
nobody. There's
did
nobody.
Korn kind of do it with the Adidas thing? Maybe, but not
Maybe
nearly to this extent.
no. I mean, there's
You know,
semblances of stuff, like icy or not icy, Slipknot having like maggots and stuff like that, as their
and
fan base and everything. But
people wearing
again,
masks to shows,
yeah, and
and
that's but again, I mean, yeah, I don't know, man. Nothing to that extent though.
it's
I
just
think
it's a
everybody
phenomenon.
it is a phenomenon. I think everybody wants to, be included with something that they love and or be a
Hmm.
part, be it,
Right.
and so, with ICP, it's like it was such a phenomenon of just like it making something so horrific but making it popular, you know what I'm saying? It's like obviously there's lots of people who huge horror movie fans. And
Hmm.
I'm
Hmm.
not one of them. I used to be a long time
I'm
ago,
not
but I've gotten
a
out of it a
horror
long time
guy.
ago. And but there's some people, I mean, one of our good friends, Billy Peck, I mean, he freaking loves
Hmm.
horror movies. He's got
Hmm.
tattoos of Jason and all this other stuff all up
Yeah.
and down him and stuff. And cool, it's
Hmm.
awesome. But again, I think that it made that so it was like you were popular in a group, and that's something that's different. It's kind of like sports fandom. So like um it's one thing to be a fan of a team in your own state or your own town, and you're surrounded by it all the time. Like say for example the Huskers. We're Nebraska people here, so the Huskers is everywhere. But if you
Yeah.
are I mean, we're talking college to pro, but like I've always been a Washington Redskins fan my whole life, and I got to go to now the Commanders, but either which way, I got to go to Washington D.C. back in 2008 and got to see them play at FedEx Field,
Nice.
and here in Nebraska, you never see Washington fans at all, and so when I went out there, it was like holy crap! I tailgated with thousands of people and it was so freaking fun, and like went to the stadium and you're just surrounded by people that love something that's so niche where you're from, but you're a family to it. It felt like the first time I was actually like me misunderstood, but now I'm understood, and I felt like I was a part of a family, and that was so cool. And I think that's what the one thing that ICP did so well was that you're taking some people that are always felt like the oddball out or always felt like misdirected. And part of a smaller group in school that's discounted and dysregular, and then all of a sudden they get to come out and they get to be a part of something and like just essentially let it all hang out, be fun
Mm,
with it, and feel like they're a part of something. And that's the thing. It's unfortunate that so many things got twisted with all of that, and so many people in that community have taken it to other ends and stuff to make it look
hmm.
bad. But
Right.
again, it's just an avenue for that. I think ICP did a good job at of making those people feel understood and
Mm,
feel regular and feel a part of a family.
yeah. I mean, I agree with all that. And, I think that, that's what music is supposed to do. That's its kind of cultural relevance, so to speak. It's like you want to feel a part of something. And I think that's, when I go to a live show, like I feel like I'm a part of it. I feel connected to the people around me, you know, maybe not during my mosh pit days, but, well, I guess you feel even more
You're,
connected then, don't you?
I was gonna say,
Can you hear me?
I got you.
Okay. Am I still frozen?
It's still frozen, but I can hear you.
Yeah.
There we
Oh, there
go.
we go.
Okay.
There we go. Um, Man, it's way zoomed in now too. Um, but I think,
Feeling connected. You said like you're part
yeah,
of like,
you know, uh, you just feel like you're a part of something, and it's communal, and the whole
right,
thing, right? And everybody's there for very specific reasons, because you're a fan of the music, and it helps you release feeling whatever, you know what I mean?
right.
And this is that just on crack,
Yeah.
and yeah. Yeah, I kind of lost my train of thought there, but it is just taken to an extreme,
It is.
and
And well,
you
the
know,
one thing that I say, I've said this a lot is especially back in the 80s, 90s, early 2000s. Nowadays, like tattoos, for example, are just so, I mean, it's almost more odd to see somebody without tattoos, you know what I mean?
yeah,
And it's gotten so much so to the point that people have gone so, I don't want to say overboard, but they've gone so far in depth with tattoos that people are now they're getting like two or three layers of tattoos on top of their tattoos, and now they're just
yeah,
going full black. It's like
yeah, the
you know,
blackout stuff,
yeah, the
yeah,
blackout stuff. It's like that's where we're at. However, what I was going to
yeah,
say though is like back in especially the '90s when it was really starting to pop off, um, was that I really feel like a good majority of people, especially back then, getting tattoos and face piercings and things of that nature, it was almost like a defense mechanism. It was almost like they were putting on some sort of armor to basically say, hey, stay back from me. I'm dangerous. And I think that a lot of people, do come from, scattered pasts or whatever the case may be, whether it was an abusive childhood, or whatever it
mm,
was. And I
sure,
think that a lot of people would put on that facade to basically be like, I'm tough, stay back. And but basically what they're saying is like I've been hurt and I don't want to be hurt anymore. And so I think that that's where a lot of that comes from. Like I said, and that's why I think that those communities, whether it's a metal community, whether it's juggalos, whether it's whatever and stuff. I mean, if you think about it, everybody's got a story, everybody's got a history, everybody's gone
mm,
through things, and so when you see like say like an Axl Rose or something like that, and, back in his height of everything in like 87, 88, and it's like, oh my gosh, he can't do anything wrong. He's a metal god and all this other stuff.
yeah,
And he's got tattoos and he's getting in fist fights and everything. And then you're like, oh man, and then all of a sudden he sits down at a piano and he just starts playing this
mm,
beautiful song.
yeah,
It's like, how's a tough guy play a piano so good? And it's like, well, he was probably brought up in a nerdy household or whatever the case may be or whatever, and or musically, driven on this and stuff like that. And again, I think that in the metal community and stuff, it was just a personification of, defense almost.
mm, mm,
And that's why I think, and again, I will never ever come down on anybody's taste in music. I don't care what you like or whatever, but when it comes to
except
like a
country sucks.
sub, yeah, please stop listening to country. But when it comes to like black metal and death metal and stuff like that,
Oh
there's
yeah.
some good stuff. Don't get me wrong. But I think that
Yeah.
people like that's all they listen to. I feel like they're in that same category where it's like they're hurting
Yeah.
inside or something,
Yeah.
and it's just like don't step close to me because I'm dangerous. And I think that's what, I think that was ICP was a huge magnet to those people. You know what I mean? Where it's like I can actually not be on defense. I can just be myself. I can be
Yeah. Yeah.
weird. I can whatever and just really let it all hang out. Sometimes too much.
Well,
But
yeah. And I think, I mean, that's a good point. And I think that there's a lot of common denominators with the new metal culture,
yeah,
I think it's a lot of what you said can apply to both.
yeah, totally.
I think the new metal thing, the only thing it didn't have was the shtick. It didn't have the clown thing and the
Correct.
circus thing, and
Unless
had
you're
it had
Slipknot,
that stuff.
where you
Well,
have
right.
clown.
Well, yeah. Had it, had something like that,
Yep.
then you know, maybe, ICP would have just been part of the new metal thing.
Yeah.
Like I think there's that much in common, because, and thinking back on it, just from like, you know, seeing people in the crowd and how they're expressing themselves and, whether it's by piercing or tattoos or, clothing or, because there was a lot of people who, they would, it wasn't clown makeup really, but there was people who would kind of, it wasn't necessarily corpse paint either. It was a lot of like the crow thing,
Yeah.
and kind of the,
Oh, big
that kind
time.
of face paint and stuff like that going on. Um, so it's like, yeah, I mean, and I think that's why I'm kind of like hyper fixating on it,
Yeah.
because like I'm starting, yeah, it's like, okay, all of these things are similar. The only thing that's different is that it's a circus, it's a clown thing.
Yeah.
That's literally the only difference,
Mhm.
because there is assholes in every new metal crowd too,
Big time. Yeah.
I've ran into my fair share for sure.
Yeah.
So it's like, was that a little bit more prevalent, in the Juggalo thing? Yeah.
Hmm.
Um, but yeah, it's just like the similarities are pretty wild to think about.
Yeah. For sure.
Yeah.
For sure. Yeah. Either way.
I mean,
Yeah,
who knew
dude.
we
And
were
it's
gonna go down this rabbit hole today?
yeah, but here we are.
This
But
was
no, I
not
mean,
planned, by the way.
no, definitely not planned. Yeah, it was just like, hey, we were
We didn't
just
plan to
started
talk about
talking.
ICP, but it's
Yeah, we were
okay.
just yeah. Well, we kind of talked a little bit about ICP with surreal, but
Hmm.
again,
Hmm.
you know, it would not take much to classify them new metal.
Right.
That's the thing. I mean, they got some of their songs, they got, some heavy guitars, a lot of screaming. Obviously,
Hmm.
both of those guys, they got good voices. And I'm not talking about singing voices. I'm talking about like just good dirty voices.
Hmm.
And then you look at like their just their themes of everything, they're it's more horrorcore kind of stuff or whatever, but it's like you
Yeah.
could really easily especially with the hip hop influence in new
Hmm.
metal, it was right there. It was
They
right
could have,
there.
yeah, they could have dove into it
I
at
mean,
first.
oh my gosh, dude, they were like bouncing on the freaking, diving
Yeah,
board.
they were right there.
They were
They could
right
have,
there.
they could
They
have gone
could have
down. They could have done a new metal record, and it would have been widely
totally,
accepted.
totally. And they're like so same whatever. But I was gonna say like Vanilla Ice, he dove into new
Hmm.
metal and he was
Hmm.
way more separated,
Yeah.
than
Yeah.
ICP was. And
Yeah.
it worked out. I mean, Hard to
Yeah.
Swallow is a good album. But
Can you
yeah, gosh,
imagine? Can you imagine Violent J and Shaggy Two Dope in the studio with Ross Robinson?
that's what I was thinking. Like as soon as you said, "Can you imagine?" I'm like, "No way, we're thinking about the exact same thing." I was just gonna say the same thing. I was like, if you
Yeah.
got Ross
Yeah.
Robinson with those guys, I bet you they could pull something out really good. Especially, the right band members and stuff. If they put together like a super group,
Mhm.
kind of like what Vanilla Ice did,
Yeah.
holy smokes! I bet they're
I'll be
freaking
the first to
awesome.
volunteer. Like,
Yeah, hey,
if anybody involved is if anybody involved, like it's a thing.
yeah,
Um, you know, if it ends up being a thing, I'd like to be the first to volunteer my services in whatever capacity is needed. I just think that would be a riot. I
that
really
would be a
do.
riot.
And if they're going to spend more time in the studio, come on.
Yeah.
It's going to sell.
Oh,
It's going to
absolutely,
sell. You
absolutely.
know, get all the new metal folks. They're going to be curious. They're going to stream it. They're going to buy it. You know, the
Totally.
Juggalos are going to do it anyway.
I think a lot
You
of them
know?
would be like, it's about time. You
Yeah.
know what I
I mean, that
mean?
Venn diagram, when you think about it, that Venn diagram of audiences, like that's heavy concentrated in the middle, you know?
Big time. Big
Um,
time. That's freaking fun.
yeah.
That's
I think that
fun.
would be awesome, you know, or Oric Wild, or, you know, some of
Mhm.
these, you know, mega nu metal producers, T-Ray, you know,
Right.
whoever. I think that would be superb.
Yeah, I would just be curious to see because I think the only way that, and it's probably the only reason that they haven't done it is they're probably just they're so obviously hip hop influenced. I mean, that's been
Yeah.
their life, you know, and I think that
Yeah.
they just probably haven't thought about it, you know. I mean, I'd really be curious to see if they have any metal bands that they're fans of. You know what I mean? Like, you know, because you
Yeah.
hear about, you know, you talk to anybody that's out there now today, and they're always bringing up like, oh man, I was a huge Pantera fan, Iron Maiden, you know, blah blah blah, whatever, Judas Priest, whatever,
Mhm.
you
Yeah.
know. But these guys are always talking about these deep cut hip hop artists from Detroit,
Mm.
um, you know. But again, there's such a rock influence there, though, heavy metal influence
Yeah.
with ICP stuff like that Wicked Clown song. I think it was on the
Yeah.
Jekyll bro or not Jekyll, jeez, Jekyll Brothers and
Yeah. I mean, we're gonna have to get real clever in how we title this episode, but you know, maybe it can be a dog whistle for them.
there you go. Hey, that's
Do the
right.
new metal record, guys.
That's right. Yeah. Man, wouldn't it be
You know,
fun though?
I
Like,
think it'd be a riot.
dude.
Like keep like lyrical content, keep it
Yeah,
normal,
just
keep
do
it the
you.
same.
Just go new
But
metal.
yeah, like hire some new metal talent
Yeah.
and you know,
Okay.
see what can happen. At a minimum, you know, if they don't release it, the lore behind it
Oh my
would
gosh,
they
dude.
could cash in on that for years.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And you do some guest features, you know, you get Jonathan Davis to come in
That's
and
what
do a
I'm
feature,
saying, dude.
Chino or something, you know,
Oh my gosh.
Surge, like some heavy hitters. And dude, you'll sell billions.
Oh my gosh. That would be huge. Yeah, because I was just gonna ask him, like, who would you, you know, obviously it would be cool if you were in the group or whatever, you know, that's what you're sitting there thinking, like, oh, I'd love to play guitar or whatever, or bass or
Dude,
whatever.
guitar, bass, I don't care.
You know,
I'll do
whatever.
whatever.
But so say they only put together a super group, like who do you see fitting in that the best?
Live, dead,
Either
either
way,
or.
either or. I'm thinking drums right out of the gate.
See, I
I'm
was too, and my
okay.
brain immediately went to Joey, and that's why I asked the
Okay,
question.
that could be cool, but I was thinking Morgan from Seven Dust
Yeah,
because
yeah.
his freaking beats that he does is so heavy,
Uh-huh.
and it would,
But see, he's so dialed into the guitar, like it's so
yeah,
syncopated that
that's
you'd have
true.
to have a John Lowry or Clint.
That's true. That's true. That's true.
Um, Clint Lowry, John. Yeah, what's his last
Yeah.
name? Donald.
I don't know.
Um, you'd almost have to have one of them involved.
Yeah.
Maybe not. Maybe not. Who
Maybe
am I to
not.
say? Um, yeah, Morgan would be good.
Morgan would be awesome, I
Joey
think.
would make it. I
Joe,
mean, it would be way intense. It
I
would
was
be a
gonna say it'd
lot
be
more
more metal.
intense with Joe.
It'd be
Yeah,
more metal. Yeah.
yeah, um,
Yeah, because if you think about it, there's not a lot of hip hop sound in Slipknot. And I
no,
feel like you'd have to definitely be on that thick line,
yeah,
with
yeah,
ICP. They can't go too far into the metal. They would have to have a metal background with their hip hop.
yeah,
So, I mean, God, I mean, even if you just stuck them in with Corn, just like
yeah.
Jonathan, just step aside for a minute, like that would
We're
work.
gonna we're gonna mute your mic real quick.
Yeah, that would work. But no,
That would, yeah. I mean, I think, hmm, yeah, I like Morgan. That would be, yeah,
yep.
yeah, Morgan or David Silveria.
Yeah, I was gonna say David work really
Hmm.
well because he's just so heavy on the drums.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't heard his newer bands, but what he did with Korn, I think,
Yep,
would
it would
fit
work.
really, really well.
It would work.
But yeah, I
Yeah,
mean,
so I'm
bass.
thinking, yeah, bass.
That's
That's tough.
that is tough because how many people listening know the names of bass players
Right.
in any new metal bands
Yeah.
outside of Fieldy aside,
Yeah. Outside of
you
Fieldy.
know? Um, I mean, man, honestly, I would probably say um, the original bass player for Incubus. I cannot remember his real name,
Oh,
but Dirk
good
Dirk
one.
Lance, I think was his stage name.
Yes.
He would be amazing. He's a tremendous bass player in general. If you watch like some of his like,
Yep.
this is how I play this stuff, like
Yes.
he's a bass guitar genius. He would be a lot of fun, I think,
You are right.
with Morgan Rose,
Yeah, Dirk Lance. Yep, yep, yep.
Dirk Lance.
Yeah. That would
I
be
think he
good.
would be all
Okay.
right.
You're right there. I think
I,
so. So again, where are we going with this? This is fun.
I don't know, but I'm writing it down just
Yeah,
so.
I see you writing stuff down. Okay, so we
Yeah.
got we got drums, we got bass, and I know it's
Okay.
like it to me, it's probably two on the nose or whatever, but like I would pick Head in there. I would definitely put Head in there because he had such a freaking hip hop sound, with
That's
the
true.
squeals and
Yeah.
everything. I think that he would really pull out, and then he's just so creative.
Yeah.
I think that he would really do a good job. Again, like I said, it might be a little bit too on the nose, but I would put Head in
Mm.
there.
Who would he work well with
Yeah, that's
on
what
a
I was gonna
second
say though,
guitar
because I
who
don't think
isn't Monkey?
that's not Monkey. Yeah, that would be the tough part.
Yeah. And I mean, take the tuning out of it, I suppose. Just strictly from like a creative vision type standpoint.
Yeah.
Um, I mean, honestly, I'd like to see it with Stephen Carpenter,
Oh, that would be good.
Head and Stephen. I
Yep.
think between the two of them, you have Head for kind of the super heavy, chunky stuff, and then you
That's
have Stephen for kind of the vibe and the ethereal
yep.
kinds of things. I think that would create a really cool vibe.
That would be freaking awesome. Like even if they didn't do ICP, those two guys together would be
Yeah,
freaking
yeah,
awesome.
yeah,
Yeah, because like, oh, because they're even like from the same area and everything too, so they have like almost like the same DNA. You
yeah.
know,
It can work, guys.
it could work. Listen to us.
Come on, Head.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Okay. Turntables. Well, I'm thinking Lethal right out of the gate just because, he's obviously from hip hop before he even went into metal. But
Mhm.
again, that might be too on the nose.
You wouldn't go to Sid?
Now that you say that, holy crap.
I would lean towards Sid.
You're
But
probably right. It would be
but
like more violent. That's
yeah, I
actually a
mean, I
good one.
think Sid could do it, but I think if you're looking to go in the other direction,
Yeah, because we got to
you
split.
know,
You got to bounce on that line between hip hop and
hmm
metal. And if you go too metal, then it's too metal. If you go too hip hop, it's too hip hop. You're right. So we
right,
got to have a balance on both sides.
right. I mean, you got guys like Kilmore from
Yes. Yep.
Incubus.
Yep. Yep.
You know, I think because he's, like we were talking with Surreal, on the other episode, like he's one of those guys that it's not overdone, it's not overplayed. Like he knows his lane and and it just works. And
Right.
I forget how Zach phrased it, but he phrased it really, really well about him.
Yeah.
I think he would, if you're going to go the other direction from Sid, he would be the guy. But if you wanted that hyper crazy kind of thing, then Sid your guy.
What about product though?
Oh, damn it. Yeah, product.
Yeah,
Product would,
dude.
no, no, no. Now that you say that,
He
product
would,
would probably
dude. I
work
got
better
goosebumps.
than
I bet he
either.
would. I
He's
bet
right up the middle,
he's
actually,
right.
between
That's
the
what I'm
two
gonna
of
say.
them.
He's right up the middle. I bet you $100 product would be. That's it right there.
There's your, yeah, there's your
There's your group.
super group.
Well, there we go.
Well,
Joe and
you're welcome,
Joey.
guys. Get it done.
That's right.
Okay.
Joseph, the Violent
Go get
J,
it
and
done.
Shaggy. Get it
Go
done.
get it done, guys.
Give us a call.
We did,
We'll
we
get you
did,
hooked
yeah, we
up.
did all the work for you.
We, yeah, you don't have to do anything anymore.
You just got to show up
You just
now.
got to show up. Yep.
Just kidding. You guys got to call these people
That's
because we
right.
don't know how to get a
That's
hold of them.
right. Oh my goodness, dude. That's fun. Well, yeah, that's
That's
kind of a cool yeah, for anybody listening, like, think about it too. Well, obviously we just came on the spot, and just popping this off, but like,
drop it in the
put
comments.
yeah, put some thought into it. Put it in your comments. Who do you think would feel better? Like be a better fit for this ICP underground new metal supergroup? Now, what would they go by?
I mean, you could keep it ICP
You
and just
could
have it
keep
be
it
their new
ICP,
metal
just
record.
yeah.
You know, I mean, if you wanted to do a whole different band, I mean, there's the Clown thing. Korn had a song called Clown.
Yeah.
Mm,
Clown, Slipknot. I mean, it's
Morgan's
kind
an
of
alien.
yeah,
Just
that's
Clown,
right.
Slipknot.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Yeah, Morgan, the alien thing.
Yeah,
Alien
I don't know.
clowns.
Maybe they just keep it ICP and just be new
Killer
metal.
clowns from outer space.
Oh, there you go. There you go.
I mean, that's got lawsuit written all over it, but
Yeah, it
I
does.
mean, that's like,
Killer Clowns
pitch.
from the Midwest. There we go.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's fun. Either way, I'm gonna be thinking about this for weeks now because it's
Oh man.
I'm gonna be dropping crap to you. But what
Yeah.
about
What
this
about
dude?
this guy? We
Yeah,
forgot about this
exactly.
guy.
Exactly.
But there's just so many people. I mean, we kind of kept it in the upper
Yeah.
echelon
Yeah,
of
yeah.
new metal stuff. But I mean, if you did all, I mean, this could go on for years, but like you
Yeah.
kind of get down into the BCD levels of new metal guys, like, yeah. I
Well, I
mean,
mean,
the
even
bass
thinking of
player
like,
from Downset, I
yeah,
don't recall his name, but he was unbelievable.
yeah,
He would work really good too.
yeah,
Like, you could go on and on and on.
totally. Yeah, because even Folder, they would fit.
Those dudes, yeah.
Shovel would
Uh-huh.
fit.
Hmm.
Um,
Yeah.
gosh, yeah, there's a lot. There's a lot. What's that? I got Un Loco stuck in my head. That's not it. Oh my gosh, never mind. There's a band that I'm trying to think of that. God, I hate my old brain, man. They're part of our Spotify playlist. Um,
Go check it out if you haven't.
yeah, please do. Um, either way, doesn't matter. It's like it's gonna bug me as soon as we stop recording. I'm gonna be like, oh, this band. Gosh dang it. Anyways, but like yeah, but even some like POD or something like that. I mean, there's definitely members
Draw
from
from
all over
POD.
the place
Yeah.
that could freaking fit in this. But either way, I don't know. That's just kind of fun. It would be fun just all over the place, even without ICP, just to think of different super groups that would go well together.
Yeah.
And
Because I mean, that doesn't really, people aren't really doing that, are they? It's like Prophets of Rage, sure.
yeah,
But, that was kind of done out of necessity, I think.
yeah.
Audio Slave. Okay, it's all revolving
Yeah,
around Rage Against the Machine. But, it's like the new metal guys, like they're really not doing a whole, like there's features on albums, but like there's no like, and correct me if I'm wrong, please, because I would like to hear it. And I'm sure it's been done to some capacity, but I know there's the thing that Stefan's doing, but I can't recall what that is off the top of my head. But yeah, if there are groups like this, drop them in the comments because I
because
definitely
I
want
want
to
to
check them
them
out.
out. And it's kind of funny that we're going here, and we don't need to go because we could probably just talk on this all
This could be a
an entire
4-hour episode.
Yeah,
if we wanted
exactly.
it
But I was
be.
gonna say it's like sometimes those super groups don't work out, and
I mean, that's kind of it's a room full of egos too. So I mean, that part has to, the mind meld has to happen.
correct.
So there's
Stuck
definitely
Mojo. That was a band I was thinking of.
Stuck Mojo. Hmm.
Yeah. Either way, okay. Now I don't feel like an idiot anymore. I'm just getting old. My memory sucks. But anyways, cool. Yeah. So anyways, we could probably put a pin in it.
Yeah. I definitely.
Yeah. So yeah, again, drop some comments. Let us know who you think would be the better.
Who's in your new metal or who's in the ICP new metal super group band?
That's right.
Put it in the comments.
Heck yeah. That's fun. Anyways. All right. Well, cool. Thanks for listening, everybody. Until next time.
All right. We'll see you guys.
See you. Good journey.